Coinski crew, YouTube, Phomophobe here. We're going to delve into Bitcoin. Starting off on the monthly chart, it's currently 7 p.m. here in Adelaide, Australia. So, a few hours before the weekly close. And yeah, let's take a look at things. I mean, yesterday was a absolute bloodbath. Most altcoins were down over 20%, which is just crazy. You know, we hadn't seen anything like that for quite some time. I think that's got to be maybe the first or second time this year where we've seen like all the altcoins down 20% basically. And yeah, it was definitely, thank God, personally, I'm not too overly exposed right now. And, you know, I have been warning about this, especially earlier in the year. And yeah, like I personally have no crazy amounts of exposure to altcoins. I do have a bit of ETH though. I'll definitely be honest about that. So, but you know, the top tier cryptocurrencies have been performing reasonably well in this downturn. So, you know, ETH was down I think about maybe 5% yesterday. Um, you know, we're down about $100 on ETH, and Bitcoin holding strong, you know, like it was down maybe 3-4%. So, you know, I don't think it's nothing to worry about. And, you know, the reason why altcoins are down so much is because, you know, the SEC is just going ham on, you know, the likes of ADA, DOT, Matic, Sol, you know, claiming that they're all securities. And also I read somewhere that altcoin trading is going to be banned in the US. Now, I don't know how 100% true that is, but if that's the case, then yeah, obviously a lot of the Americans were selling off their altcoin holdings yesterday. So that would explain the massive downside move. But, you know, this is all short-term noise. You know, I definitely don't let it get to me. And when there's blood on the street, there's opportunity. So this is why you should always have some dry powder set aside for, you know, moments like yesterday. But anyway, on the technical front, we'll take a look, and starting off on the monthly chart here. So I have drawn in my fibs differently this time round. I originally always had it like this, the peak from the start of April 2021 to the low in 2022, and I actually prefer these fibs. I think the last video I posted, the fibs were from the absolute peak to trough, but I prefer this right now. And yeah, so we're still looking fairly bullish here on the monthly time frame. There's nothing to be too concerned about. Obviously, I am expecting a bit more downside, but with 0.236 here at 24K or just a bit below should provide some support here on the monthly. So, and this Fibonacci level coincides with a lot of other levels on the lower time frames. So 24K, 24 karat gold, it's a good number. Definitely keep that level drawn in your charts because that should come into play there. And yeah, like, I mean, we're just basically retracing here from these gains since December. So, you know, if this was a short-term time frame chart, you know, it would be very similar. You know, it's just this is the monthly and it takes a lot longer for things to play out. So we closed last month at 27,163. And when we opened, we didn't even test the 21 EMA here on the monthly. So that is very bearish. And we've fallen through. I do think we find support within this vicinity here of 24K. Heading over to the weekly chart. as you can see here, this 200 EMA adds confluence to that 24K level. So that's another key indicator that we're just basically coming down to test, you know. So wouldn't be surprised next week that we do dump and we come down to 24K. Very, very likely that that happens. The momentum is down. And if we look at the MACD here, we've had that bearish cross. So that does signal more downside to come. And the stochastic is still on the downside momentum, and there's no bull cross there. So that indicates more downside to come on the weekly chart. Heading over to the 3-day chart, so we have the 500 EMA, which is in the same area as that 200 EMA on the weekly, more or less, just a little bit lower. So that adds confluence to that zone. And MACD on the 3-day is still bearish, and that's the same with the stochastic there. Take a look at that volume as well on the 3-day. This is the Binance chart, so you know, volume ramped up here, and then again here during the bull phase that we've had, and yeah, it's dropped off since mid-March, end of March. That's where it really started to drop off. So it's a shame, you know, like obviously a lot of people are withdrawing their funds, and you know, the volume on Binance is it's about 20% of what it was back during the peak. So, or maybe even 1/5, but yeah, crazy, you know. I might have to change my charts because the Binance chart might become, you know, obsolete with the lack of volume. Now, heading over to the daily chart. So I do believe that we had a 5-wave impulse move since the start of December. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. That fits perfectly into Elliott wave theory there, as long as this wave 4 stays above the wave 1 high. And now we're coming down for an ABC correction. So it's really unclear if the A wave's actually been in. That could be an A wave, B wave, C wave, but this still could be an A wave as well. So yeah, it's really hard to judge, but I do believe that is a complete 5-wave impulse move to the upside there for Bitcoin, and we're going to consolidate for quite some time here. And this 200 EMA on the daily is providing a little bit of support here. We haven't actually broken through it yet, but I do think we eventually will fall through this, and when we do, the downside move is going to accelerate. So all eyes on this 0.236 fib 24K. MACD is bearish, and that's the same with stochastic. So that even on the daily chart, it's signaling further downside. And we'll zoom in on the 4-hour chart finally. So for the short term time frame, we have this support zone here. So basically between 24,620 and 23,308. And that 0.236 fib is smack bang in the middle of that zone. So here we have the golden pocket, we have the 0.236 fib, we have the 200 EMA as well. So there are 3 very crucial indicators there that will act as confluence to provide support here. We also have this zone here. So that was obviously resistance back in February of this year. We rejected off there, we broke through it. We're coming down to test that area as well. So plenty of support down here, like I've stressed in my previous video. And yeah, I don't think Bitcoin just simply falls through this level. Like it will technically bounce from here, and it might be a violent bounce to the upside. come down and we literally do like a V-shaped recovery here. The only way I can see it falling through all this support area without any support coming in is if we have some sort of black swan event where, I don't know, maybe they ban Bitcoin in the US or something crazy like that, you know. But I don't think that's going to happen in June or July. So yeah, I do think, and obviously the sentiment is very bearish right now as well. You know, crypto Twitter is fairly quiet. So all those signs point to a bottom is near. And yeah, I think the second half of 2023 is going to be fairly constructive for the crypto market. All right, so I'll wrap that up and catch you guys in the next update. Peace out.